let's talk a bit about the sources and forces of change. So when I talk about change, what are the changes? Where do they come from? So it's important we understand what are the sources. Number one, it could be internal or external. And also the forces, we've got different forces being operated on in the world. So it could be, again, external forces. For example, the COVID pandemic that we are now in, I don't want to discuss this, but still I'm being forced to, because it's something that we are all forced upon, right? We don't like it. Nobody likes to be at the home. Nobody likes to have this kind of conversations where you're forced to be in the house for more than now 8 months, now 7-8 months. We don't like it, but it's been forced on us, and we just need to adapt ourselves. We can't just resist this. And that's where we need to understand what are the internal and external forces, or rather sources. We'll discuss the source first and then the force, because source is softer and force is a harder one. So if you look at it, there are different business priorities. Sometimes it's the business priority which actually dictates how you would like to operate. It could be, for example, as we discussed, people were buying things in the stores. They were actually kind of doing all these in-store purchases. People like to feel it. People like to look at something, feel it, and then they say, oh, this is beautiful. I would like to go for it. I buy it. Even about 5 years back, we had the online stores. We've got Amazon, we've got eBay. And so all of these different stores, apart from these, they used to have their own online web stores. But people did not the uptake was not that much compared to what it is doing now. Because now we've been forced, we've actually got the business priorities actually now mobile first, online first. So if you've got a business like I was talking about the mobile phone accessory selling business as an example, then the first thing that you need to do is to have that site working well in the mobile phones, whether it is iPhone or Android. And it should also be online so that I can complete that. I can look at that on my phone. I can look at that on my mobile browser. I should be able to complete the whole transaction on my mobile phone without having to go back to the browser and then say, enter my payment details. So everything can be done on the mobile online. So that's the business priority now. And that's unfortunately, or fortunately, that's the way most of the business have got to adapt themselves. Otherwise, they're off. There's no place for them. And the changes of key stakeholders, it happens so often. Again, I can't stress the importance of understanding the current context. People change, the managements change, the teams change, restructuring happens, businesses themselves are being forced to change. So if you've got any changes, any kind of shifts that happen in the senior management, in the stakeholders, and the customers, we were talking about the example of this company which was selling this was actually kind of taken over by a bigger company. There were mergers, acquisitions. And because of all of these, there are loads of shifts happening. And because of that, the change can hope. And then even the change of scope within the product. So for example, initially we were saying that we would we would develop an e-commerce website for having this, for selling the mobile phone accessories. And now we're seeing that, why to just stop at e-commerce? I mean, the mobile phone accessories or iPad, why can't we sell mobile phones online? Why can't we just have this mobile phone? Why can't we just sell iPad tablets? Or, why can't we, instead of tablets, that's what we call as marketing myopia. Don't be myopic. Don't be too short-sighted in terms of what you're trying to define as your product offering, as your market segmentation. So try and expand, make it sure that it is, and that's why we've got like group of companies now where they sell everything, they diversify into things which they have been doing differently before. So that again is a change of scope, the scope in terms of scope in and scope out. As technical team, we should be able to understand what is inside the scope of this work that we have now. And more importantly, as what I've been stressing all along, what is outside the scope, what is not currently required. That is more important actually sometimes. So you should be scoping in and scoping out. From the point of view of external factors, I think we are aware changes in the political situation, changes in the dynamics involved. For example, the Brexit and the relationship with other countries, and all these things could play a part, the governance structure, all of these. And economic factors, again, we're talking about the massive change in terms of the macroeconomic and the microeconomic factors that could affect the industry that we are in, the business we are in, and the kind of company that we have got. All of these, we need to consider the changes can come from any of these factors. And then changes in socio-cultural factors, we're talking about it, right? So we've got this lifestyle changes. People, how they work, how they live have been changing. There's a new normal as